My beloved brothers and sisters, the world today is loud. It's busy. It screams with distractions, offering pleasures, promises, and poisons. And while the young run toward it, eyes wide shut, I come to speak to those who have seen more winters. Those whose hair has silvered, whose backs have bent, and whose hearts have felt both joy and sorrow. I speak to the elders, the seasoned souls. Old age is a season of life that many fear, avoid, or even despise. But in truth it is not a punishment or a decline. It is a sacred gift, a crown earned through years of experience, trials, and growth. It is not something to be ashamed of, but something to be honored. Too often, society paints old age as a period of uselessness, weakness, or fading glory. But that is a lie. Those who have lived long have walked through storms that the young cannot even imagine. They have fought silent battles, made sacrifices, carried families, built homes, and shaped generations. That history is not a burden, it is a blessing. With age comes wisdom that no book can teach and no school can offer. The silver in your hair is not a sign of decay, it is a symbol of victory. Every wrinkle, every scar, every memory etched into the soul tells a story that deserves to be heard. Yet, it is only when you treat this stage of life with respect that you will begin to see its value. If you see yourself as a burden, you will live like one. But if you see yourself as a blessing, you will live with purpose, dignity, and strength. Old age is not a signal to step aside from life. It is an invitation to step into a higher calling. You are now in a position to guide, to speak truth into chaos, to mentor, and to lead. Not through noise, but through example. Your calm, your patience, your spiritual insight, your discernment. These are treasures to those still trying to find their way. But if you throw them away, if you despise your age, if you long only for the days behind you, then you rob the world of what it needs most, your presence. The body may not run as fast, the eyes may not see as clearly, but the soul has never been more awake. The heart has never been more open to reflection. That is a gift. You now understand what truly matters. You know that money fades, fame disappears, and pleasures pass. What remains is love, truth, faith, and legacy. The noise of youth gives way to the stillness of clarity. In old age, you begin to see life not as a sprint but a journey. You see people not as tools but as souls. You see time not as something to waste, but something sacred. But none of this beauty can be embraced if you do not treat your age with respect. If you speak against yourself, if you believe the world's lie that your worth has expired, you fall into a trap. Don't. Stand tall, speak life over yourself. You've been given this season not by accident, but by design. Your life is not over. In fact, the richest part may have just begun. It all depends on how you carry it. Your actions now shape your legacy. Many believe that legacy is something decided at the end of life, that it is a summary written after everything is over. But the truth is far more powerful. Legacy is not written in the final words of a eulogy. It is carved daily in the choices you make, the words you speak, and the values you live. Every decision you take today leaves a mark that others will remember. Whether you are young or old, rich or poor, visible or hidden, your life is influencing someone, somewhere. You may not even know their name, but they are watching, they are listening, they are learning. What you do now, how you treat people, how you respond to adversity, how you stand when it's hard to stand, these things are louder than any speech. People forget what you had, but they remember how you made them feel. They remember your courage, your kindness, your consistency. Legacy is not built in a moment of fame, but in a lifetime of faithfulness. And the most dangerous lie is the one that says, it's too late. No, it's not. As long as there is breath in your lungs, you can still shape your legacy. Even a single act of love, forgiveness, or truth can change how generations remember you. Many waste their later years thinking their best days are behind them. But that is not the voice of wisdom. It is the voice of defeat. There is still time to finish well. You cannot rewrite the beginning, but you can write the ending. The way you walk through these final chapters matters more than you think. If you walk them with bitterness, you teach others that pain has the last word. But if you walk them with grace and strength, you show the world that honor lives even in the valley. Every moment is an opportunity to either build or break, to lift or to harm, to inspire or to discourage. That power is in your hands. You don't have to be perfect. Legacy isn't built on perfection. It's built on integrity. Admit when you're wrong. Stand for what is right. Speak truth, even when your voice shakes. Apologize, forgive, lead by example. People may not understand you now, but they will remember you later. They will tell stories about how you never gave up, how you always showed up, how you stayed kind in a cruel world. The legacy you leave is the life you live. It is not stored in things, titles, or trophies, but in hearts. The children and grandchildren who watch you will inherit more than your possessions. They will inherit your principles. And one day, when your name is spoken after you're gone, it will not be the length of your life that matters, but the light you gave during it. That light begins now, in this moment, with every step you take. Vulnerability in the body requires strength in the spirit. As we age, the body begins to change. The hands that once built, lifted, and held now tremble with time. The legs that once ran with energy may struggle to carry the same weight. The eyes may dim, the hearing may fade, and the physical energy we once took for granted slowly begins to decline. This is not weakness in the soul. It is a natural process, a journey every human must face. But while the body becomes more vulnerable, it is the spirit that must grow stronger. The spirit must rise to lead where the flesh can no longer carry the same load. This is the season where the inner man must take his rightful place. The body may no longer be a warrior, but the spirit must become one. When strength leaves the muscles, let it enter your prayers. When you can no longer climb physical mountains, climb spiritual ones. The world often glorifies youth, power, and beauty, but true strength is not in appearance. It is in perseverance. It is in refusing to give up when everything around you tells you to sit down and fade away. You see, when the body is young and full of energy, it is easy to move, to act, to decide without thinking deeply. But in the vulnerability of old age, every movement has meaning. Every breath becomes a reminder that you are still here for a purpose. And that purpose is no longer just about what you can do with your hands, but what you can pour out from your heart. This is where the spirit must grow in patience, in courage, in gratitude, and in trust. There will be days when pain whispers that you are not who you used to be. There will be moments when your body fails you and frustration sets in. But that is the exact moment when you must remind yourself, I am not just flesh and bone. I am a living soul. And the strength of my spirit is not limited by age. It is not bound by weakness. In fact, it is often in the times of greatest physical vulnerability that the spirit becomes its most powerful. You begin to rely less on the outer world and more on the inner one. You begin to see things others miss. You begin to feel compassion deeper, speak softer, love stronger. When the world sees your limitations, let it also see your resilience. Let it witness your joy in the midst of pain, your peace in the midst of uncertainty. That is true strength. That is the power of the spirit rising above the fading of the flesh. And that is the testimony that remains long after your voice is quieted. The body may bend, but the spirit can stand tall. And that inner strength is not just for you. It is a light to those who follow. Do not be deceived by the world's promises. Cling to truth. The world is loud with its temptations. It dresses lies in gold and wraps destruction in comfort. It promises youth forever, joy without sacrifice, and fulfillment without responsibility. It flatters with smooth words, entertains with endless distractions, and calls evil good and good evil, and many fall for it, especially in moments of loneliness or vulnerability. But behind every empty promise of the world lies a trap. Behind every illusion of peace lies unrest. Behind every glittering offer lies a shadow waiting to steal your time, your clarity, and your soul. As the years pass and the body ages, the temptation doesn't always come in the form of wild living. It comes through the subtle voices that say, you've done enough, you can relax now, don't worry about your soul, just enjoy life. But that voice is dangerous. It's not speaking rest, it's speaking spiritual sleep. The world says, follow your heart, but the heart without truth is easily deceived. The world says, there are many truths, but that is a lie in itself. Truth is not many things, it is one, and it does not change with time, culture, or opinion. If you base your life on what is trending, you will be tossed around like a ship without an anchor. The values of this world change with every season. What is praised today will be mocked tomorrow. What is legal today may be immoral in the eyes of eternity. That's why you must build your foundation on something deeper, something eternal. Truth is not popular, but it is powerful. It may not entertain, but it will protect. It may not comfort your flesh, but it will awaken your soul. In old age, when the noise of the world grows louder through screens, voices, and shifting values, you must be even more watchful. The enemy does not stop tempting simply because you've grown older. In fact, he often works harder, knowing your days are fewer and your impact can still be great. The lies may be softer now, coated in kindness, clothed in familiarity, but they are still lies. They say, don't take things so seriously. But your soul is serious business. Your eternity is not a joke. Your legacy is not a game. Cling to truth. Not casually, not occasionally, but tightly, desperately, like a lifeline in a storm. Truth may cost you friends, it may make you misunderstood. It may even make you lonely at times, but it will never leave you lost. It will never lead you into destruction. Truth may feel heavy, but it will keep you upright when the world tries to knock you down. And the truth is not just a set of ideas, it is a way of living, a standard to hold, a light to follow, a voice to obey. The more the world changes, the more you must hold firm, not because you are stubborn, but because you are grounded. Not because you fear change, but because you fear falsehood. And in that devotion to truth, you will find peace the world cannot give, and purpose the world cannot steal. Your wisdom is a shield, use it to protect, not to sleep. With age comes understanding, and with understanding comes responsibility. The lessons you have learned over decades, the pain you have endured, the failures that shaped you, the victories that humbled you, all of this has forged a wisdom that the young have yet to grasp. That wisdom is not a souvenir to place on a shelf. It is not a soft pillow for retirement. It is a shield meant to guard you and guide others, a shield meant to confront lies, to expose deception, and to preserve what is true and good. Too many people reach a certain age and believe they've earned the right to step back from the battle of life. They think they've seen it all, said enough, and now it's time to watch quietly from the sidelines. But wisdom unused becomes stale, wisdom ignored becomes irrelevant, and wisdom wasted becomes regret. You were not given discernment so you could coast in comfort. You were given discernment to lead, to warn, to intercede, to teach. Others need what you carry, but if you sleep on it, you rob the next generation of the very thing they lack. There is a difference between rest and retreat. Rest is necessary, retreat is dangerous. When the wise fall silent, the foolish take the microphone. When the elders close their eyes, the blind lead the blind. Your wisdom must stay awake. You are a gatekeeper now. You have seen where certain roads lead. You know what happens when certain lines are crossed. Speak, share, stand. Even if they don't listen right away, your voice is planting seeds that may grow long after you're gone. And don't just use wisdom to protect others. Use it to protect yourself. Just because you've reached an older age does not mean you're immune to deception. The enemy does not retire. Temptation doesn't check your age before knocking. Be careful who you listen to. Be alert to what you allow into your heart and home. Many elders fall not because they're weak in body, but because they get lazy in spirit. They stop praying, they stop discerning, they stop questioning, they let down their guard, but wisdom is your alarm, wisdom is your compass. If something doesn't feel right, test it. If something contradicts the truth, reject it. Remember, the most dangerous moment for a warrior is not in the heat of battle. It is when they believe the battle is over. Never forget that. Your wisdom has value not because of how much you know, but because of how you apply it. Guard your soul, guard your peace, guard your family, and when the storm comes, and it always does, let your wisdom be the shield that stands firm, unmoved, clear-eyed, and faithful, not passive, not asleep, but alive, ready and strong for the fight that still remains. You are closer to eternity, live with purpose and caution. As the days pass and the seasons change, each of us moves closer to the final chapter of our earthly journey. For those in the later stages of life, this truth is no longer distant, it is near. The mirror may reflect years gone by, the body may speak of time's toll, and the world may whisper that your best days are behind you. But this is not a reason to fear, it is a call to live more intentionally than ever before. You are no longer in the beginning or middle of the story. You are approaching the moment when all that you have believed, spoken, and done will stand before the one who sees all. Now is not the time for carelessness. It is not the time to gamble with your soul. When you were younger, you may have thought there was time to fix things later, time to turn back, time to make things right. But now, the weight of every choice feels heavier, and rightly so. The closer you are to eternity, the more serious your decisions must become. Every word, every action, every thought must be measured. The clock is not a threat. It is a reminder that the opportunity to live with purpose is still in your hands. You still have time, but you do not have forever. To live with caution does not mean to live in fear. It means to live awake, aware, alert. It means refusing to waste your final years in bitterness, in vanity, or in idle comfort. It means watching over your soul the way a guard watches over a city wall. You have come too far to be careless now. You have walked through pain, experienced joy, lost loved ones, gained insight, and witnessed the rise and fall of many things. That experience was not in vain. It was meant to prepare you for this final stretch, to help you walk it with reverence. Purpose must be your companion now. Ask yourself daily, what am I doing with the time I have left? Am I building peace or stirring trouble? Am I drawing closer to truth or drifting away into confusion? Am I leading others to light or fading into silence while darkness spreads? There is still work to do. Your prayers matter. Your words matter. Your forgiveness, your example, your humility. These are not small things. They are seeds of eternity. People may forget your age, but they will not forget the impact you made in your final years. Sometimes the closing scene of a story leaves the greatest impression. Do not count your life by how many birthdays you have seen, but by how much light you are carrying as you approach the finish. Eternity is not a distant theory. It is a destination, and the closer you are, the more carefully you must walk. With your eyes on what matters, your heart in alignment, and your soul ready, live with purpose, live with caution, because every step now echoes beyond this world.